Hello. My name is Jessie, and today we are making Cajun crab fried rice. For the ingredients you would need 8 ounces of crab meat, 3 eggs, 3 cups of cooked rice, 4 ounces of asparagus, a fourth of a cup of cilantro for garnish, 1 cup of chopped red onion, 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of butter, half a tablespoon of chicken powder, 1 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, 1 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning, and half a teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes optional. Okay, for the prepping, most of the ingredients are very self-explanatory, so that's why I didn't show you guys how I chop the onion, the garlic, but for the asparagus, I want to show you guys how I do it because it's a bit different, or at least I think it is. I wanted to do it like in a coin shape like this. It's still in the same size as the onion. Asparagus goes so well with crab or any seafood for that matter. And if you don't like asparagus, you can substitute it with peas. You know, frozen peas would do too. We're done with the asparagus. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to chop some cilantro for garnish. You can also substitute it with parsley. I just happen to have a bunch of cilantro in my fridge, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, so now I'm going to marinate my rice and crab. Whenever I do fried rice, stir fried, I always try to marinate my ingredients every step of the way so that the flavor is there. Half a teaspoon of Old Bay in the crab, half a teaspoon of Old Bay in the rice, half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning in the crab, half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning in the rice, half a tablespoon of chicken powder in the rice only. Now I'm going to use a fork to mix the crab meat up. I'm using a fork to lightly mix it so I won't mush the crab too much, but at the same time I want to break these big chunks out so it can blend in with the rice batter. Alright, now the crab is done. Now I'm going to try mixing the seasoning into the rice. You don't have to be completely through with it because once we add it in the wok, we can always mix it more. Alright, the rice is done. Now we're going to break the eggs into this bowl. I'm going to use the same fork to beat the eggs up. Okay, we are done. Alright, let's start cooking. I'm going to have on medium high. Add about a tablespoon of oil. Remember the 1 tablespoon of butter earlier? I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to use half of it now. We're going to flavor the crab first. And half of the garlic. Let it mingle together to get some fragrance. Now I'm going to add in the crab. This extra step would amp up the crab so well that when we add it into the rice, it will be phenomenal. You only need about 30 seconds just to let the crab, oh, that smells so good. Just to get the crab, you know, mingle with the garlic, the butter, and all the seasoning that we've added in it. Now I'm going to add in the asparagus as well. Be very gentle though because we don't want to break the crab too much. I still want to see the lumps. I'll let it stir fry without touching it for about 30 seconds to get some charness on the crab. Alright, 30 seconds is up. I'm going to remove all this mixture back out into the bowl. Now we're moving on to cooking the rice. So I'm going to add another tablespoon of oil and the remaining half a tablespoon of butter, the chopped onion. I'll let the onion cook a little bit before adding the garlic in because once we add the garlic in, we have to add the rice in to prevent the garlic from burning. So now the butter is melted. I'm going to add in the remaining of the garlic. Now in goes the rice. So now we're just gonna mix it very, very well together. Now I'm cranking my heat up to 8 out of 9. As I mix the rice, I'm gonna mush it to separate the rice instead of having it all lumped up. You wanna fry the rice until it has a little bit of char on it so we can get that fry feeling. And the best way to make fried rice, I'm sure we all know, is 1 day old rice. So usually a lot of time when I cook rice to eat, I cook extra because I know we always want some fried rice. So I cook extra and just leave it in the fridge. And if I know I'm not gonna eat it between a few days, I just throw it in the freezer. Frozen rice makes the perfect fried rice. Alright, so now everything is incorporated. So I'm gonna make a well. Add a little bit of oil, like a teaspoon of that. And we're gonna add the eggs. I'm just gonna move the rice out even more just to help the eggs having more real estate to cook. Alright, when the egg is about 80-90% done, we're gonna add in the crab and the asparagus that we had earlier. I usually save about half a cup of this or a quarter cup of this just for topping. So now we're gonna mix them all together. I like to make crab fried rice at home because I can add a lot of crab, like a whole 8 ounces of it. Versus when we order out, it just gives you a little sprinkle on top and there's nothing in the rice. I want every single grain of rice would have some crab in it. The last ingredients would be oyster sauce. I like to add oyster sauce into the crab fried rice just because of the seafood umami flavor. It ties everything together so well. If you don't have oyster sauce at home, you can replace it with soy sauce, but the oyster sauce gives it an extra kick of seafood. Let me give it a taste and see if the seasoning is good, to see if it needs more salt or anything. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Ooh, that little butter really bring everything out. Ooh, I can taste crab next to every grain of rice, and that's exactly what I want. I like my fried rice on the toastier side as I'm still stir frying it a little bit because I don't want to eat the steamed rice. The asparagus adds such a good crunch. Alright, and one last ingredient is the chili pepper flakes. I like to add it in the hot wok like this so it would release the heat more because I like it a little bit spicy in my seafood. Alright, and it's time to plate. Now my favorite part. Let's zest it up. Remember the crab and asparagus mixture that I saved earlier? Put right on top. Now, you know exactly what you're having. And some cilantro for prettiness. And this is completely optional, but I usually also like to drizzle a little bit of chili oil on mine. Wow, look at this, guys. Isn't it gorgeous? Now it's your turn to make it at home.
Okay guys, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and come back next week for our weekly updates. See you then.